This is Mentally Dope. Join us, Charmaine and Jasmine, two Black licensed therapists, as we build a bridge between mental health and Black culture. Come on, it's gonna be dope. Hi!
Hi! We back.
What's up? Woo, y'all. You click so you already know what we're doing. You already know what's going on.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. I'm a little irritated at everybody who kept requesting this because I didn't want to watch it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to. And I told Jasmine that I didn't want to watch it, and she said that we had to.
Because it's been requested so many times. We gotta give the people what they want.
I know I always say talk to me, I talk back, but stop talking to me with stuff like this because I didn't want to watch it. But I did. I watched the movie. I've seen it before, but I am really big on movies that traumatize me and never want to watch them again. So I've seen that a couple times before, but like I had not seen it in years, so I had to force myself to sit down and watch it again.
But listen, we cannot sit there and do Eve's Bayou, one of which nobody wanted to watch because that's just Black trauma on top of Black trauma.
Yeah, but
and
it
then
wasn't
not
as
do
bad
this.
for me though. Like this to me was harder to watch because I am so sensitive and I am so emotionally sensitive.
You're a sensitive gangster.
I am. I'm a sensitive gangster. I'm a sensitive gangster. And I'm also really, really sensitive when it comes to friendships. I don't know what that is. Friendships and death has always bothered me. Like even like as a kid watching this movie, like I found myself like lump in my throat, like watching this movie, and it was just. So yeah. Set it up to the left, yo. Set it up to the right, yo. Set it off.
We're setting
Set it
off.
off. We're talking about setting it off.
We're not doing that. But we are setting it off today, guys. So I know you remember this movie. 1996. Can you even imagine? Can you remember? Do you remember where you were at? What you were doing? Who grandma's house was you sitting at while it's playing in the background?
We cannot say that this movie was like not literally a classic, did not change the game, was the first of its kind. There's so many movies that like regurgitate storylines over and over again, and I feel like that this was one of the ones that did not do that. Like it came completely different.
I think it started that though. A lot of people have made movies kind of
100%.
like this about it.
But like this one, like when this first came out, it was like a whoa.
Yeah.
Like whoa.
But this is also the reason why I never watch like those old school gangster movies about like you get to know people, you love them, and then everybody dies. That's why I don't do that because that ain't what I want to see. That's not how I want to end it. So and so dead and so and so got to start a new life. I don't want to do that. That's not the type of feel good. It's not a feel good. I'm not feeling
That's
good.
why I said. But I mean, and there's some that I've watched, but I just would not watch again. We shouldn't talk about those movies that you have watched, but that are not those kind of movies that you're like, okay, it was good, but I'm never gonna watch it again because I got a couple of those.
But a lot of people really like it. Like it's not. They're never gonna watch it again. They watch it. Some people, this is their comfort movie, like in a way that other people are not.
My mom loved Set It Off. It was one of her favorite movies, and like every year on my mom's like birthday and stuff like that, we all have like different ways of like we celebrate her. I watch other movies that are that were her favorite movies,
but not.
But like my
one.
brother and stuff, he's like I will watch Set It Off, and I'm just like that is great that you can sit down and do that in memory of her. I'm gonna go watch Four Brothers. That's like I can do that. But yeah, this one I watched it, y'all.
Are you gonna be okay?
I did. I had to watch it early enough for me to watch some other stuff after it.
Are you gonna be okay?
And yeah, cool.
Okay.
So let's jump into it. As y'all know, this was an all-star cast of four dynamic women.
I would say it was an all-star back then, but yes. Because it said introducing Kimberly Lee, so I think this is her first feature film role, and introducing Blair Underwood. So I think this was his first feature. And so I was like, interesting. And I didn't know that.
Baby, because, okay, we'll talk about Blair a little bit later.
Blair still, I don't know what he looked like now, but I think he's still holding up. Anyway, so surely you've seen it. Do we need to give you an overview? If you haven't seen it, a quick overview is that, there's these four women.
Four best friends that have been best friends since like elementary school.
They live in SoCal. You could say they live in the hood. something goes
They
down.
live in the projects. They do.
They do.
They live in AP, Acorn Projects.
Yes, which is where they say LA. It's not LA. It's some suburb. Anyway, it don't matter. Anyway, they go through a series of unfortunate events. We're gonna say that their life is just hard, struggle, we're in a struggle, and at one point they get fed up and they say we robbing banks now.
I think that, but that was not just how it happened. Like, one of them rolled over. And
I mean,
we're
about to go into it, but that's the quick
here's the idea.
View,
but yes, you have 4 best friends who I'm not quite sure like where they all fall in, but they have been best friends for a long time. At one point, I think that Queen Latifah, who is Cleo, and Jada Pinkett, who's Stoney, they said that we've been that we've been friends since first grade. So they've been around each other for a long time. You see...
Sorry, not first grade.
I'm just saying.
You're my first grade best friend.
They clearly, all 4 of them, have hardships. Cleo lives in a garage. She
might want to live in a garage.
She might have. I'm just saying.
We never knew. We never got context. I'm going to just say
that. You could also see like, her lifestyle was different. She used to steal cars for Dr. Dre's character. I forgot what his name was. But she used to steal cars.
Yeah, you do what you gotta do.
She had been a juvenile before. You have
juvenile?
I think it was juvenile.
I know they said she's the only one with priors. I didn't know if she had.
Okay, well, I'm not sure, but yes, she had priors.
That wouldn't surprise me though.
So she did that for stealing cars. You have Kimberly Elise's character, TT or Tashawn, who is also clearly struggling financially as well.
She was struggling in a lot of ways as well.
She was struggling financially. You could also tell that she was like the most meek out of the group, I guess. She was like more quiet. She kind of got pushed around a little bit from the other girls. She really, really depended a lot on like Stoney as like her her person to like speak for her. She's also the only one with a child. She has a small child that she's trying to take care of.
How old were they supposed to be? Do you know? I don't remember.
I'm not even sure. I wouldn't say that anybody was past 30. That they were like
I want to say
early 20s.
I don't know about early. I thought they were a little bit more like 27, something like that. But I don't remember. Let us know if you know. I don't remember how old the ladies were supposed to be.
Yeah, I would have said like mid-20s for me. And because now they don't really say, and then we have Stoney, who is Jada Pinkett's character.
I still want to know how she got the nickname Stoney. I was like, what is your name? What is your government name? Had nothing to do with Stoney. So
I don't know.
Estonia. Maybe her name was Lita Estonia Newsom or something. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Where we get Stoney?
I do not know. But they say that her parents died in a car crash when she's 14.
Oh, I forgot that.
So both of her parents died in a car crash when she's 14, and she is taking care of her younger brother. Not quite sure how that actually worked, if they were flying under the radar of getting in trouble, because technically at some point they should have been taken in by somebody, because she was underage as well. But she is raising her younger brother. She said that she was not able to like go to school, things of that nature, because she was raising him. And then you have her younger brother, and then we also have Vivica Fox's character, Frankie or Francesca, who was doing better for herself. She still lived in the projects with the rest of them, but she was doing better for herself by getting a job at the bank. And then the movie starts off
with Frankie.
Yeah, the movie starts off. She's happy. She's at her bank. She's doing what she does. She's having a good day. Somebody walks in that she recognizes. It's a guy who also lives in her neighborhood, and he's like, "Hey, don't act like you know me. We're not playing a game. I'm thinking to rob your bank." And she's like, "Please don't do this. This is my job." She panics. She freaks out. Like definite trauma.
As you would with somebody has a gun in your face.
Definite trauma response is something that we talked about multiple times on the show, that like trauma responses like that do happen. It does not matter how many times you have been prepared. That it's not saying like that you should not prepare, but in trauma situations, sometimes our brain literally goes offline. The whole frontal lobe of your brain will not work, and you were literally, I know for myself, my trauma response a lot is freeze. So I can be in the middle of a serious situation and something will happen and I'll just stand there. Mm-hmm. I can't function. My body has literally went immobile and I cannot move. And we see this happen to her. That yes, she has been trained on what to do with the clips, on pushing the buttons and all the things. But in this moment, when this man is actually in her face with the gun, she freezes. She does not know what to do. She tries to maneuver around the situation, and then he shoots somebody right in front of her, which makes it even worse. She goes
I
overloaded.
just have questions. That white lady didn't have to die.
She did not. It made
not.
absolutely no sense. But I think that for him, he wanted to like show that he was not playing around. Stop playing with
Okay,
me.
shoot
Get the
somebody
money.
in the leg. Why
Yeah.
you gotta kill the person in front of you? It don't matter. It's irrelevant.
He said, "Stop playing with me. Give the money." Like she freaks out when questioned about why she responded the way that she responded after the bank robbery. She was told that she clearly knew the guy and that she was probably in on the bank robbery and she was let go from her job. Which I think that started this potential spiral when she came to the group and she was like, they robbed the bank, but they just weren't as smart. We should rob the bank.
Yeah, there's more to it.
Yes,
There's
but like,
definitely
but like the first time that it was said in the group, and Cleo was like, "Yeah, definitely, like let's do it." Stoney and TT was like, "Absolutely not, y'all crazy. I'm not doing this with y'all. Like, go somewhere and sit down." And then we see another traumatic situation happen where they're having a graduation party for Stoney's little brother who's graduating from high school. He says he's going to UCLA, but he says
It broke my heart.
yes, but he says that he did not get money for a scholarship. Stoney does some
That's
things.
what he said first.
Yes. Stoney does some stuff to get him money to pay for his first semester of school.
You're just gonna tell the whole plot of the whole thing.
I'm just saying. She does some stuff to get him some money for his first semester of school. She finds out that he didn't even get accepted into UCLA. He goes to visit one of his friends after they've been arguing about this. He actually goes to visit the person who did rob the bank. The police thought that he was the person who robbed the bank and they shot him. And then we just fall apart.
You gonna tell the rest of it, or you just tell us about Stoney?
I mean, okay.
I mean, you can. I don't know. I'm saying, are
Just
you
saying.
doing the whole thing?
And then we also have TT in this situation where TT is at work. She asked their boss to stop taking taxes out of her check because it was making her check smaller. He said he had nothing to do with that. He wasn't fooling with the IRS, so it is what it is. Her checks are smaller.
First of all, you lied. Luther sucks. Let me tell you
100%.
that.
He's like in multiple roles on TV. I don't know what that was, but anywho, he couldn't take out her taxes, or he took out her taxes. She could not pay for childcare. She took her baby with her to the job where all of them cleaned buildings together. The baby drunk cleaning fluid under one of the cabinets and had to be rushed to the hospital.
I thought you was trying to say,
Yeah. And had to be rushed to the hospital. DHS got involved and they took her baby from her. So where you had Cleo, who was already down for the foolishness, she already did not like her standings and was like ready to set some stuff off, and she felt like that she was tired for not having money. Now you have the hardships that are being brought in from the other three, and then this is where we come to the Godfather scene of like, let's sit around and like let's plot what robbing a bank would look like to get us some money to figure this stuff out. Which I think brings us to what we're talking about in today's episode of trauma, Black trauma, systems that are not set up for us, systems where we are set up to fail, and systems that are created but just failed them and fail us even today.
There's a lot going on. It was just sad. No, I'm sad because everybody was going through. I'm just saying, it's like everybody was having the worst day ever, every day. Like it's the worst day. So, if we're talking about systems, like I know maybe you have a question of just like, well, we're therapists. We're supposed to be talking about therapy stuff, but we have to talk about systems when we talk about therapy. Partially because we Black, I don't know if you knew that, but we is Black. And so part of that is there are systems in place that do not help us. They actually do the opposite, right? They make us worse, they make us sicker. And therapy is supposed to address people being well.
Yeah.
But if they only live in a system where things are making them unwell, it's really hard for us to do our jobs.
And
or to have good outcomes.
I think that this is also one of the things too that we also talk about is like the importance of recognizing these systems in therapeutic sessions. You can have a client who's coming to you. If you have a client who is coming to you who is Black, brown, a person of color in that sense, if you ignore the system in which they live, you are ignoring a big part of who this person is, and a big part of the things that may be affecting them. So it's really important to understand these systems, understand how they affect people, and understand how they affect the behaviors of people as well.
And you run the risk of pathologizing those people, which in other terms means you're diagnosing them for having reaction to the system when the system is actually the thing that is wrong, not the person, right? So if you have somebody, like just in this situation, it would make a lot of sense if Frankie, after she lost her job, because that I'm sure that job was hard for her to get and maintain. She was there for 2 years. She was faithful and consistent, right? And she lost her job because of racism. Now, let me tell you what they didn't say in the movies. They didn't say the word racism. They didn't say the word black. But we know, because we know what we know. That's what happened. That was part of the reason why she got fired. If she were to wild out, well, she did eventually wild out. But let's say she wild out there. She was like, I don't care, I'm leaving. She knocked everything down on the way out because maybe I would do that. And then threaten people. People would be like, oh no, there's something wrong with her. But they're not acknowledging the system
100%.
in which that she showed up and did the right thing. She did everything right. Even you can't help if you have a trauma response or not. That's not something that we get to choose in the moment. And then get fired, and that affects her livelihood. You cannot diagnose her with something when she is reacting to something being wrong, because that is a normal human reaction.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So you have to look at the whole system when you're interacting with people, or you're just pointing the finger and being like, something's wrong with you. You just need to use your coping skills.
Yeah.
You just need to CBT it out, and then you should feel better. But like, there's a system making me crazy, and it's happening to me, and my mama, and my grandma, and my great grandma, and all the way down the line. And so, like, we have to acknowledge this. So it's a big freaking deal.
I think that also we also saw, especially like the hurtful and the cringy moments, but also the serious moments, is that you saw when the police were investigating the bank robbery and they were like investigating the people who did it, all of the micro and just regular racist aggressive things that were being said about the people, about like the haircuts and like with those and like you know what the things like you know what these things meant, and yeah,
Not to mention, the other police officer was a black woman. So remember, when after that first scene is over, she was like, "You didn't even give me a drink of water, sister." Like, you are here, exactly, but you are here complicit in this system that is harming me, and you're not even taking care of me. You're not doing anything to take care of me.
This is a hard thing too. I think I know that in one of our episodes we talked about this implicit racism and how those things live within pretty much all of us because of the fact of how we're raised.
Internalized racism.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Yes, internalized racism lives in pretty much all of us because of the way that we are raised, the society that we live in. It's hard for certain people to not internalize levels of racism even against some of your own people, because that's what we're taught. We're taught a lot of times that black people are bad or less than or ghetto and all these things, and even if you don't like outright say it, sometimes those thoughts go through your head. You see the person and you're like, yep, they probably did it.
And there's that layer and there's more.
Yes, but for me, I felt like that she represented sometimes what that looks like, that she, like you said, conformed to what was around her, and she also had some internalized racism, and she was like projecting that off, and it was just like,
Maybe so. I mean, we didn't really get a background into her very much, but
I didn't fool with her.
Every time that we have some kind of movie, though, or something that's like, the system doesn't work, there's always a black person there who is part of the system and complicit, because it's really more of an issue about the system and not necessarily that one black person
100%.
in the system, right? It's that, like, you got to have a job. You got to make money. How else are you going to make money?
I think that it's hard though. But it is hard when you're standing on the other side. I think it's why we get so excited when we see a black cop or like a black mayor or a black somebody. We're like, ooh, somebody's on our side, and then talking, they're like, no, you're not on our side. Never mind. Mm-hmm. The opposite. That hurtful feeling of like, okay, yes, never mind.
Mm-hmm. And or you're just out there terrorizing people in a way that their counterparts do, right? Like, it's both sides. The system doesn't work, and also the system weaponizes even the people that are suffering from the system against the people lower on the system.
Yeah.
Right? It's a part of the process. So it not only hurts that we got to go through racist, terrible stuff. It also hurts that the people who are perpetuating that are our neighbors and look like us
Yeah.
sometimes or all the time, whatever. So there's that layer. Then we go to police brutality. Okay? Which, my God, on today. My God, on today. That's almost, I just can't. It just, who? First of all, besides the fact that you don't know what AP stands for, that also said you're not a part of the culture, you don't know nothing about what's going on over here. So they're trying to find not the tattoo, they done razored into this man's head AP, right? And so they're trying to find that. But unfortunately, because of some biological things and some racial issues, people struggle with the fact, or they believe that black people look like each other, all of them, right? And so we
let me
can't
also add on
necessarily
the
tell
fact
the
that
difference.
that it was at night, that and that her little brother did have the same AP.
The AP didn't look the same. I looked at the AP, but
It didn't. But I think that that's the hard thing is that, yes, I mean, I'm not
But you're
saying.
just over policing. Did you need to show up that way to arrest him? And even more, the same issue I had with Frankie and the way Frankie died, and I have an issue with police is why do you have to shoot someone who's running away? You
Also,
need to go find them. They don't need to die because they are not a threat to you or anyone else. They're leaving the scene.
also,
They
if
don't
you
have to
know that
die.
they're not going to go anywhere. Like, I mean, especially with, like.
Even if they are.
But
If you can't find them, you ain't doing your job, are
But
you?
I'm saying in both of these situations with her brother Stevie and also with Frankie, neither one of them were going anywhere. Like, neither one of them were going anywhere.
Stevie was already on the ground. Now, I can understand they thought he had a weapon. But again,
And I
you
think that
also
also
need to give people the chance to put the weapon down,
I
right?
think that also too is the fact that you can tell that he clearly had a trauma response, and I definitely probably would have been the same way. Like,
Maybe.
I'm freaking out. I don't understand what's going on. Why am I being surrounded? Why does everybody have guns on me? And then you want me to lay on my stomach, but I have a bottle sitting right here, so I can't lay on my stomach. So I'm like, you're gonna get on the ground, and I'm like, I'm trying to get on the ground, but I can't quite lay on the ground because there's something hindering me, and then I want to talk. Once again, my response is to freeze. Like, I want to talk, but I can't formulate words.
Correct.
And then I reach for the bottle, and you shoot me.
Right. Which is the issue as well because of the neighborhood they're in too, right? Because if they were in a nice neighborhood with people that didn't look like them, I guarantee they wouldn't have came in that situation like that. But because they know where they're at, they're in the hood, they know what they feel in their minds is likely to happen is somebody gonna jump stupid, we gonna have to shoot and kill somebody today. They're already ready, right? Versus because again, you can't tell me. They go in and they find people who have killed other people all the time and take them alive. You can't tell me. It's because of the fact that they're in the hood looking for people and they know what they think we have or don't have, and that's how it ends. So again, we have to be the product of over policing and police brutality when they could have figured that out
I think that's also
without killing anybody.
This also goes back to internalized racism of being fearful in situations where you're more fearful of people, of certain people than you would be of other people. You see other people and you see them as threats or aggressive, and someone else can do the exact same thing, and you would not see them as threats or aggressive, or you would not fear for your life in those situations in ways that you do with other people.
I don't know which side you're talking about. I'm probably talking about both sides.
Yeah. No, I meant police against black people. That's just.
I know, but I feel like black people feel the same. Like,
Oh,
I know that if
100%.
I'm going to be around police, I'm more anxious than if I were somewhere else.
100%.
Or police, they know if they go to a spot that they're not from and they don't feel safe in, then more likely they're going to be all the things that we see on TV when people freak out and lose their minds.
But I think that we also see this in like this, which could go down a whole complete rabbit hole. We see the same thing as far as just like in general with the cultural thing. If I say something literally in this tone of, I don't think that this is part of my job description, why is she being so aggressive?
So that was like, I don't even know.
But someone else, cause like, you know, like say the exact same thing, I'm like, okay, I understand it. But like if I say that in that same exact tone, I'm being told that I'm being aggressive, and that, whoa, calm down, like don't get loud, like, you know, don't get so upset, which is not being dramatic. I've literally had those situations, like, which I'm pretty sure that like a lot of people have. It's like those things of like just your being,
Right.
not even your neighborhood, not even anything about you, like
Correct.
me and this being,
Yeah.
and I pose as an aggressive threat.
But it's the same thing that happened to Frankie, right? She was crying. She literally had blood all over her white suit. She looked good too.
She was the victim in the situation.
She absolutely was the victim. But they said, oh, we just don't like the fact that you knew him. And I don't know, maybe she wasn't doing enough. Maybe she wasn't crying hard enough about all of it. Like, hey, you got to be fired. We think this was on purpose. But again, there were no signs of that. There was no evidence of that.
Yeah, and I mean, heck, the man died. But yeah, so here we are.
Which again, who benefits? What money did she come off? Because did anybody get away?
Yeah,
They did.
Yeah.
But
Junior.
yeah. Well, okay, but they got him too.
Yeah.
So again, nobody got what they think they needed or what they tried to get. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So again, we got stacks upon stacks upon stacks. Okay, and then I know we can relate to this because of where we're at, not making enough money.
Yeah.
The issue with TT is TT was working. I'm saying this slow because I think people don't understand. They're like, just get a job. If you just get a job and you just work hard and you just follow the rules, then it'll just be okay. But some people are working 2, 3, 4 jobs and they still cannot make ends meet.
Yeah.
Which is a problem, right? Because if we want people to do things legitimately, legally, in a safe way, but we do not give them enough money to sustain themselves, what are their other choices?
Yeah.
But then to do some, do you know how many times? Okay, that's too much information. I'm gonna just say, conversations with my friends are just like, what's up with OnlyFans? What's up with like I could do this and I can do that because the money ain't looking how it's supposed to look. Like, that's what you do when you do everything right and you still don't have good options. You turn to something illegal.
I think that also, not even that, we can also add on another layer, which I'm not saying that this is something that she went through, but something that I was literally just talking to some clients about last week. Her name was Tashawn. Sometimes that's a factor as well, too. Like, we're not going to lie.
Well, what's she going to do? Put TT on the list?
That's what I'm saying.
TT Jones.
But I think it's that. And I literally had one of my clients tell me that she did this. She used her first name, which, I mean, I clearly can't say that, but her first name was more ethnic. And on multiple applications, did not get calls back. She put her middle name, which was more...
Mm-hmm. So instead of Shaniqua Marie, she said Marie.
Yes.
Marie Jones. And so you can't know, it's ambiguous.
On the exact same places, exact same applications, and she got calls back and she was able to get a job. Now she no longer uses her first name anywhere because she feels like her first name is too ghetto. Outside
it's stigmatizing.
Yes,
and also she probably don't like it.
Outside of her household, her family, and nobody still calls her by her first name, but her second name gets her jobs. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like we also have that factor as well too. I mean, what if my first and my middle name is ethnic?
Mm-hmm. It's ethnic.
Yeah.
Black.
What if something happened to me in the system where I was not able to graduate?
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a name like Tashawn, if I have a child, and I mean, depending on how old they were, the little boy looked like he could have been about 4. So yeah. So like, what if that like hindered me in like school and stuff like that? So I already have cards stacked against me. Mm-hmm. What jobs am I applying for? And like, where am I getting hired? See what I was doing? Cleaning buildings.
But I can tell you, right? There's nothing wrong with cleaning a building.
No,
but
not at all.
The issue is that then they had to go work for Luther's cleaning services. And the issue with Luther and what you will find with people in precarious positions is they have to work with people who are mean, corrupt,
and take advantage.
Abusive. Yes, all of these things, which Luther was. He talked crazy to people. He cussed people out. He called them out their name. He misgendered Cleo. Like, there was a lot going on there. But you don't have a choice. You have to withstand this because you don't have another option.
He told them multiple times.
He said, go.
Yeah, either do it or leave.
Mm-hmm. You're not going anywhere. This is the only job I know you can get, so this is what it is. And so just to think about the trauma on top of that you have to be in a place where you're going to be verbally abused. Even people docking your pay, right? Her situation was she didn't want taxes to come out of her check. I get it. But there's some situations where people are like, I'm just not going to pay you what I don't want to pay you. And you can't do anything about it because you're not going anywhere else. God forbid you don't have a driver's license or a social security card. Then what? Mm-hmm. Then you got to do what the people tell you to do.
Yeah.
So it's like this layer on top of layer. You have to have this job. It doesn't make enough. But what are you supposed to do because you can't pay your babysitter? Mm-hmm. Which is TT's problem.
And then I'm pretty sure that this also made it a little bit easier for them because, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. As far as we saw, Cleo was the only one who drove. So what if the rest of them didn't have driver's license? I mean, Stoney was literally walking to her boyfriend's house. I don't even know how long of a walk that is, but you literally changed zip codes. So
She said she needed the exercise.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if any of them drove or had cars or had like money for bus fare. So like the easiest thing is for us all to have a job together. Let's all ride together, get on the same shift, and split your gas.
Or rather, but like you have to make it happen.
Yes.
And something that we do not talk about enough, especially when I was working with kids. Black families don't always keep up with the documents they need. And so you can grow up and not ever have seen your social security card, ever seen
your birth certificate. Yeah.
I've met children who did not even know their full government names, right?
Or
it's wrong because they couldn't spell it right at the hospital.
There are people that I've known who were adults and found out that their birthday was wrong. Or who were adults and found out that their name was wrong, like you said, because they had never seen their actual birth certificate.
Yeah, didn't we talk about Tina Knowles, or we didn't talk about it, but Tina Knowles was saying that like their family name is Beyonce, but all of her siblings, their names were spelled wrong because the best you could do is to even have your name on this birth certificate. You weren't going to spend time to fight to get it right on the birth certificate. So again, now we get to a point where people trying to get jobs, people trying to do stuff, and they can't do it because they don't have the documents they need. First of all, because people don't care enough. They don't care enough. You could be like, that's not how you spell my name. I don't care. Like, I remember when I was a child and I had some ID, and I was like, Mom, why do they say that my eyes are black and my hair are black? Like, that's not the color of my hair. She was like, it's close enough. That's what they do. If you have brown hair, like, it's considered black on the thing, and it is what it is. And I was like, huh?
Which is crazy to me. Yeah, because I remember being being 16. Like, they didn't even ask me at the DMV. They just like literally put it in, and mine literally said like I'm black and black, and I'm just like, my eyes are not black. What the heck
my
is
hair
this?
is not black.
Yes.
Like, what are you talking? My hair is clearly brown, and it didn't look like this.
I had blonde hair when I took the picture, and I was just like,
this is the system that we have to be in.
yeah.
Hey guys, we're just going to interrupt for a second just to remind you that despite us being two dope black therapists, we are not your dope black therapists. Therefore, this does not replace your connection in a relationship with a licensed mental health therapist, right? We are only sharing educational information that you can do what you want with. But we are not advising you specifically on your individual needs. So, of course, as always, go see a mental health professional that's in your local state, in your local area to get what you need. Okay.
Hey guys, it's Charmaine. And I always tell y'all to like, comment, and subscribe. But don't forget, we are not just on YouTube. We are on all podcast platforms. If you want to listen to us that way, we also are on the socials. So check us out on Instagram and on TikTok. We're also on Facebook. You can see all of our cool content on social media. Follow us there too, guys.
So there's that. Let's not even talk about the fact of freaking TT does what she's supposed to do, which is take care of her child. Brings the child to work. Child gets into some chemicals, which, first of all, is BS, because they said that was not a safe place for them to be. Where was that, an office? It wasn't even like she was at a machinery site or like a plant or something.
They should not have had her child at work.
And that she was unfit.
That's what she said.
Do you know how many people bring their children to office buildings?
It wasn't even a warning or nothing. That child was immediately taken from her and went into the system.
BS. But it happens. There's a case, do you know about the case right now in Arkansas of a woman who just got arrested because there was a house fire and her kids were in, I don't know if it was a house or if it was a hotel or something, but her kids, I don't know what happened. I don't know who set the fire, but they were at home and she was at work. And then that's how she found out the house fire, but the kids were taken away because she didn't have a babysitter because she was at work. And now she's in jail. I don't think she had documentation, so there's a whole thing about maybe being deported. But stuff like that happens all the freaking time when people are trying to do the right thing. First of all, childcare costs too damn much. So let's talk about that. But we are not. But like, it's layer upon layer of if you show up and do the right thing, you still do not get met with
And I think that
rewards.
that's the hard part when you have a lot of people who ignore a lot of these things and just hit with the extra aggression and the extra trauma. Like, y'all are just lazy. Y'all is like y'all don't use the resources that are in front of y'all. Y'all don't try hard enough. Like, I had to do it. I just went to school and I pulled up my bootstraps and I made it happen.
But did you already have those boots given to you before? And I can't even afford boots, and nobody in my family can afford boots, so we cannot pull ourselves.
And I don't even know how to work in boots.
I was just all of these layers going on when people who struggle, please hear this when I say this. People who don't have money,
Whenever she uses the finger, you know it's going to come out.
I feel like I need to, but I'm not. So I'm just going to give you one. But people who don't have money, it costs a lot of money to be poor. It costs less money to have more money. I know that's counterintuitive and it doesn't make sense, but it is the truth. The people who I know who do not have money, they pay more than anything trying to keep what they have and stay where they're at. It doesn't make any sense and it shouldn't. But that makes our jobs harder. Like, how does this work for you in therapy when you know somebody even comes from this space or is in this space? How do we do therapy with that?
I think this is one of the things too that I often tell my supervisees that I work with, that when we're looking at what we call like Maslow's hierarchy of needs and things of that nature, there are certain things that we can't even get to because we have to get to some of the things on the bottom. Yes, your client may come in because they were sexually assaulted. Yes, your client may come in because they were raped or because like it was like something like major trauma happened.
Anything.
But they don't have food, water, and shelter, and so we can't go here until we address this.
Which is to say,
like
we're not diving into the trauma. We're not diving into the rape.
But your baseline is like your baseline is already at a struggle point. So like until like again, I can't go here and like ignore this.
Which is why we're always talking. I know people think it's silly of just like, why do teachers have snacks in their classroom? Why do therapists have snacks in their classroom? When I worked in schools, I'm sure you did too, I always had food. I bought it out of my own pocket and I made sure everybody had food or had access to food, because you weren't going to be able to come in my office and talk about something deep, dark, or difficult if you're hungry.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about anything like that when I'm hungry. I want to eat.
And I said that too. And I remember, shout out to one of my LSs who I love.
Shout out to that one.
who I love. But I remember us having this conversation about how she's a teacher and she was like that at school that they would have cutoff times for breakfast. But she was like that she knew that she would have certain kids whose parents struggled to get them to school and they were going to be late on a regular basis. And she would keep food aside for them because they can't function throughout the day without food.
How do you learn without food?
But there'd be some teachers who'd be like, no, they missed the cutoff. And she was like, I get that,
but it's not their fault. If they can get up and drive and go buy their own breakfast,
that's
sure.
different.
But that's not what's happening here.
But when systems and things are stacked against them, I understand that we have rules, but some of those rules do not apply in these situations. And I admire people like her that stand up for kids like that. They're like, baby, this ain't your fault, and I'm going to save you a plate.
Which that needs to be mandatory. I don't even know why we're still talking about that as a society. Schools, lunches, breakfasts for kids should be free in every school everywhere. Why are we still having that conversation? So like all of these things, we need to take care of people's baseline needs so that we can do our jobs.
Yes.
Right? So I can come and we can do the therapy and people can feel better and get healed.
And this also goes back into like what we were saying too, like even in school systems, if I can't make it to school on time, if I'm coming to school dirty because I don't have
not able to have clean clothes, your hair's not able to get done.
I can't focus in school and retain information the same way that you're retaining information because my mind is on a whole bunch of different things. I got chaos at my house. I'm not sleeping at night. It's hot in there. We don't have any food. Like all these things are factors stacked up against me to where you're putting 1 + 1 in front of me, but I'm not seeing 1 + 1. I'm seeing a whole bunch of other things that I can't focus on this. So now you want to call me dumb, and I'm not dumb. I have too much stuff going on.
Absolutely. And I feel like that's one way. The other way too is I see a lot of kids show up and be very perfectionistic of just like, I am going to show up. I am going to do all the things because I really like school. I really like being at school.
Yeah.
It's safe.
Yes, it's safe.
I like being there.
Food's
they have
there.
AC there. I don't have to be in the heat. My teacher doesn't care if I sleep during the day because I didn't get to sleep at night, right? Like all of these things going on, and we have the opposite. And it's just, there's a lot of things. We're talking about kids, but we're really just talking about everybody, right? This impacts everybody at these levels. And like we need these baseline things to be done so that we can do our jobs well.
And you also talk about how some of these kids grow into some of these adults who we're talking about in this movie. We don't know what their childhood was like, but it could have been that these children that we're talking about grew into these adults who went through these years upon years upon years of trauma. Nothing ever changed. We even see this when Stoney starts dating someone from a whole different lifestyle. This man does he's in banking and he went to Harvard. He went to all these countries. went to all these countries, and he was like, wait, have you ever left LA? And she was like, no. Have you ever been to one of these cities? Like,
Well, first he was like, you ever been out the country? And she's like, no. You ever been to a different state? No. You ever left the city limits of LA? No.
Mm-mm. You even saw it on the night when like he took her to a function and she came completely dressed inappropriately, and he was like, okay, so I've only lied to you one time. Let's go ahead and stop and get you a new outfit because like wasn't even sure like how to handle this. But it's even,
and then they also did her hair. Anyway, don't know.
Yeah, that was that was
Questions that need answers. We'll get to that in a minute.
But I think it's stuff like that if you have to deal with years upon years of trauma like that, if you were that kid who struggled in those ways in schools and you had to find different ways to make ends meet at an age when you should not have been able to, what kind of adult did you grow into sometimes? And sometimes when the odds are stacked against you and it continues to happen, guess what? This is what they thought was the only ends to the means. To the means to the end.
Yeah, the means and the end. But I think like that's why black people as a whole are misunderstood, especially if we're talking about like young people who are like in gangs and gang violence, or there's like violence in the black community and all this other stuff. Like people are really misunderstood because if we had a chance to have safety, security, the food that we needed, the resources that we needed, it doesn't have to look this way.
Yeah, and you can also see how like you said, people can be completely different. You saw Stoney, who was like, she had so many dreams for herself. She had so many things that she wanted to do. She was constantly being like pushed back on being able to like accomplish them. But she was like, yeah, I still want more for my life. And she asked Cleo, she was like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Cleo's like, I don't know.
Cleo said, I'm working on today.
Yeah,
which is
and that's common. Yes, for a lot of kids, or like for a lot of individuals. We also saw when they first got their first 3,000, Cleo spent it on rims, and I like the
not just rims. She got the whole car upgraded.
Yes,
don't just say that.
But I feel like the people judge people in those situations when you don't realize that maybe this is honestly and truthfully what they aspire to. I remember watching a show and it was like asking like inner city kids like, you know, what their goals for life were, and some of their goals were like literally to get like regular haircuts. Why? Because they had never experienced.
That they wanted. Yeah.
All I really want is a pair of Jordans, because like that's like yeah, maybe my dreams are to aspire to like be an astronaut, but maybe your dreams are like literally I just want to like, you know, get my haircut on a regular basis.
Yeah, I just want my family to be able to buy name brand every month, except instead of like once a quarter, like all of that. So it's a lot. And what we also are not talking about too is like, we don't know anything about money management. So the issue as well is like, we're going to hit a lick and get this money. But then what? Because we have money, but we have the same issues as before. It's like, I have trouble spending, what did Kanye say, spending before I get it?
Yes.
I have trouble doing all of those things. So it doesn't matter if you get more money if you don't know what to do with it after that.
Yes, and I mean, luckily they were smart enough to like say like to not like completely blow it at first. Well, no.
Cleo didn't. Cleo was out.
The first time, it honestly and truly did not make sense. The first time they got $12,000, which means that each one of them got $3,000. There was a little bit of a rift because TT ran during the first one. So
did TT deserve the money or not?
So they was like, no, you shouldn't get nothing. But still,
not they. Frankie
$3,000 was not like a lot of money to stretch. So then they went back and they had to do it again, and they got like $75,000. And they were smart enough to say, let's hide it because like we can't spend it all in one time without getting in trouble. Now, why they hit it the way that they hit it was a whole other issue. That's one of my questions that need answers. But
they were just get fighting mad.
They were smart enough to like not like immediately go out and like, you know, start like buying stuff with money that you have no way to be able to track back to you.
Right. You can't not have a job one day and the next day you can afford to buy a new car. That's just not really how it works.
Yeah, I mean, some folks may not question that, but other folks are going to be like, where does money come from?
Unless somebody just died and you got an inheritance, I don't know how you going to come up on that money. So, there's that. But, like, again, if you ain't never had any money to do anything,
you don't know how to, yeah.
You don't know. Like, she said, at one point, Stoney said, like, people in my neighborhood don't even have savings accounts, let alone, like, because he said, you can start a savings account. You just need $1,000. She was like,
okay. American dollars?
She said, well, so I'm not going to get one, but thanks for letting me know. Because, again, you have to know what to do with the freaking money when you get it. It does not matter. people get so frustrated with other people, just like, you got all that money and you wasted it. Who taught them how to? Who taught them how to spend their money? And please, let's talk about how money is also connected to emotional regulation.
Yep.
And if you have layers and layers and layers and layers of trauma, you probably also struggle with emotional regulation.
Also emotional self-esteem. So I may need things to like.
That's what
I'm gonna feel better, but
so you're gonna have a struggle with money, right? That's not cut and dry for everybody, but it increases the likelihood. So again,
y'all, I really feel like this could be like a 10-hour soapbox. So I'm not going to get on that. But we were just want to be able to highlight that that's kind of what me and Jasmine were looking at when we were watching the movie Set It Off. We were watching and we were looking at all of the systems, all of the layers. I mean, there was also other factors that we could have touched on like their friendships, on the way that they formed together, on the way that they like, rooted for each other, on the ways that they rode along. Sometimes when they didn't want to, but they felt like that they had to. There were so many different aspects, but like the general thing for this show was the idea of the systems, the trauma, and the systems that unfortunately failed them. And ultimately what happened was what happened if you watched the end of the movie.
Yeah. And that the struggle is that like these people deserved to find healing and wholeness, and they were never going to get to see a therapist.
Yeah.
They were never going to get to even go down that process.
There's always the part of me when I watch movies like this, I just wish that someone would like extend like 10 to 15 minutes. Like, what was life like for Stoney when she was in Mexico? Like what happened after she shaved her head?
Oh, they're doing a remake though. Did you not?
I
Issa Rae is doing it.
I saw that, but I also I don't know about that. But anywho, I'm not judging.
Just saying, maybe we'll get more information.
I don't know about that.
I really wanted them to meet up. I wanted him to quit his job and just be like, go to Hawaii, wherever she went, and just chill. Why stop playing?
Mean, to me, that would not have been a smart decision on his end. But
you can bank anywhere. They got banks in Hawaii, wherever she was. I don't know where she was, but they got banks. Where she was? Mexico. Where was she?
She was in Mexico, I believe.
Okay.
But
you're right. If you could take a bus, because I don't think she flew anywhere. But
yeah, but to me also like.
I mean, she had a passport. It don't matter.
No, so. because remember she stuck on the bus. She hopped on.
That's why they had the sombreros on.
Yeah, so like she grabbed one and she snuck on like when nobody was looking at her.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
And Frankie saw her in the
I was just ready for day after day.
I can't. Okay.
I push against the clouds.
Okay. Y'all.
Don't get me
Let's
talking.
get into questions.
Let me also say before you start, we need to talk about DHS, but we're not going to do that today. But we will at some point. We need to talk about DHS. Should we watch Precious or something?
Absolutely not.
I mean, I don't want to. But we need a DHS movie. Tell us about a movie that can help us a jumping off point to talk about DHS.
Losing Isaiah. Okay.
She didn't do it, y'all. Okay. Questions that need answers.
We got. I don't think I ever paid attention to the fact that Junior from Players Club. What's they do to rob the bank? I think that we have like certain. I think that there's like certain actors who just like played like repeated roles over in the 90s.
Definitely typecast.
Yeah, they were like typecasted, and that just like cracked me up because he literally played like he literally was like Junior all over again. What's yours?
Did that man really need to empty the clip on a security guard? First of all, to come in there with the guns, but then have an extender. Like, this is a real deal gangster movie. And then to empty a clip, I just have a hard time understanding why people kill other people that don't have to die. You don't have to die.
I honestly and truthfully think that he's wanted to shoot the gun. I really do. I feel like that he was excited. He had a gun. He had like it was like cool. It was fancy. The same way he was when they came in his house. That man put the laser on them cops and was like, "Want to play with me?" Like he wanted to play.
We got problems as a society.
I did not understand. It almost reminded me of like in Juice when Tupac was like yeah, if they could do it, we could do it, but the folks did not get away with the situation. So after this she literally said,
you got the wrong message from the example.
She said, if crackhead Darnell can do it, so can we. Darnell died, y'all. Like 2 out of the 3 of them died, and then the third one died because the cops got him. Like, I don't know. I mean, I understand that she said that she was like would be better, but I was still just like, they died.
Yeah. So my question is, why? First of all, I like the actor that played the FBI guy. Like, I like him as an actor. I didn't like him in this movie, which is good. Like, he was really easy to hate. Why was he so intense about the bank robbery? I said, do you have stock in this bank? Was your money in this bank? He didn't have to talk to her like that. What is the protocol? Sir, do you work here? Did they take your money? This is crazy. You're just supposed to be solving a crime. That's all
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah.
It was nuts to me.
I feel like the situation with Stoney when she got that check, and then that man made her walk home.
When I tell you I would have stolen them keys. When I tell you I would have hot wired you gonna give me this money and you gonna give me this car.
And that was crazy. Well, I guess because like it didn't work the way that it worked. But I was like, she had a job guarantee. Why she go work that job? Okay.
Who? Oh,
Remember,
she didn't want the job. She wanted the money.
But the job would have given her more guaranteed money. But
I can tell you what hurt my feelings is that. What would you do if your son was at home crying all alone on the bedroom floor because he's hungry, and then you sleep with a man for a little bit of money? So you do that, and then you go home and your brother just to say, I don't even need the money. Oh my God.
I understand her.
When I tell you I'm grabbing you by the throat.
I understand her being upset, but tearing up that check was like diabolical. I understand her being upset though, but for me I was like, whoa.
No, the money's dirty now.
Girl.
I would have cashed it.
Yeah.
Okay, serious question. Do you remember Honey Smacks?
Yeah, man.
Why they said that she looked like Sugar Bear? She said, you know, when you get high, you look like Sugar Bear. And I was like, let me look that up again. Wait, what is she talking about? And I was like, Honey Smacks. Oh my gosh.
I did not know what that was coming from. Okay.
Did you see? I'm going to show you the picture.
No, I understand. No, I know what you mean now.
AP, insert a picture of Honey Bear, Sugar Bear, because the Honey Smacks. Because I was like, oh, I was in the generation that it was the frog, it wasn't the bear.
Yes.
But I saw that and I was like, dang, she do kind of look like Sugar Bear.
Okay. How'd she go in without her wig?
Huh?
Remember when they first robbed the bank? Jada didn't have her wig on. She put it on as they were walking in, and she looked at the camera and then put her wig on.
It was real sloppy. It was real sloppy.
I was like, what is happening here?
It's real sloppy because they were in the hallway and people were passing them. They
didn't you're putting your wig on in the hallway,
and everybody coming in and coming out. But let me tell you how I would have been like Frankie though.
But if I saw somebody putting a wig on in the hallway,
I'm turning back around.
I'm running.
I'm turning back around. Oh, this is not the day I'm going to the bank.
Nope.
I'm going to do some online banking today because I'm not doing it. But let me tell you how I would be Frankie, because either we going to do it or we not going to do it. We ain't finna be standing in the hallway with no guns and wigs trying to do something. She said, y'all weren't finna move. I was going to make you move. Let's go. We're going to be all or nothing. I'm not playing with y'all like that. Because then somebody's going to be like, excuse me, ma'am, do you want to go to jail? I ain't got time for that. We're doing it or we're not. Of course, they should not have taken the child away. Even now, in today's, like, that's not a reason to take a child away, and not to have warning. But what kind of place was they practicing shooting at? I ain't never been in no place like that.
What you mean? His little shooting range is yet?
Shooting range. I said that very lightly. Shooting range.
Like those in somebody.
Like I said, where's the protective equipment?
In somebody's basement.
They might as well have been practicing like this. It was crazy. And TT was like, I don't even want to touch the gun. Why would we give TT a gun? She's so anxious. Do you remember the first time they tried to rob the bank? She was on the floor.
But hey, when she had the gun though, she used it the way she needed to use it. She took Luther out. I mean, it was a problem, but she did what she had to do.
I don't know who directed this movie, but thank you, God.
Gary Gray.
Gary, yes. Gary Gray.
Yes.
Which is such a strange name.
The importance of us having certain songs and playlists before we can do anything. I'm not sure if this is a black thing. I don't know.
Oh, Cleo, just toss it out the table. I'm like, man.
I have now. Listen, in some situations,
at this point, you got an MO.
I do have a moment like not when I'm doing something like. I mean, I've never robbed a bank.
Before you rob a bank, you don't choose your music.
Yes, but I'm saying like in sense of like I've had moments when I've been late for something. I'm like, hold on, let me find my playlist because I can't like pull off until the playlist is ready. I have like shower playlists. I have like getting ready playlists. Like it's a thing.
Yeah, I know. You're not saying anything controversial to me.
I mean, it's a
you
thing.
know me. I can pull up my Spotify right now. I got playlists on top of playlists. Question: how many banks did they rob? 3, 4?
3. There was the first one where they only got the 12. There was the.
It wasn't 4.
I thought it was 3. There was the second one when they got the money, but then Luther stole it, and then they had to go rob Federal to get the money
Oh,
the
they
money
didn't do
back because they
anything
didn't have
between
any.
there?
I don't think so.
I'm just curious.
That which actually like leads me to my question, which I understand that hindsight is 20/20, but I don't understand. I mean, I did agree with them on not putting the money at their houses, because like if they ever got caught, but I don't understand like why they didn't put the money in multiple places.
I was gonna say, why not separate it? You
Yeah,
can put
y'all
all the
didn't
money.
separate it.
Then somebody hit a lick on you, you missing everything.
You put all of it in one spot. Like that was not smart.
And why would Luther be checking there anyway? I don't know. It was weird. It's not like somebody tipped somebody off or something. Because there wasn't even a filter. It's not a thing that you should be cleaning.
Yeah.
Like you had to take apart to clean. So I don't know. It didn't make sense. We could have tried harder on that one, guys. At least, I don't know. I don't know. Ursula? I think we do learn her name, but she doesn't say a single word.
I didn't realize
that makes
either.
me think
she didn't have
they
not
ran
one
out
line.
of budget. They said we can't pay you no more. You can't say nothing. Because if we pay you, if you talk, we gotta pay more.
but yeah, she couldn't.
She could cry on that TV. That's not funny.
But she ain't had no one line.
But look, she didn't say a single word. But we remember Ursula. Do you hear me? Because she did that little dance. She showed up. She did everything she was asked to do. Okay, go ahead. You know what? I saw when I was doing research. I saw somebody did a dissertation on Ursula and the fact that she didn't talk in the movie.
I did not know that. That's crazy.
On like lesbian visibility and like silencing, and I was like, dang, that's deep. We be doing everything.
That's cool.
We be doing everything.
Cracked me up when Jada went to the event with Blair Underwood and she downed her champagne and then just set it in the flowers. You just walked past it.
How you supposed to know?
Just downed it and just set it in the flowers. I understand.
You ever been to a fancy event and didn't know what to do?
I understand, but I know that setting them in the flowers did not cross your mind as the right thing to do. I would have walked around with it in my hand all night, not knowing what to do with it. But you literally just like set it down in the flowers. But okay,
you ain't never been to a fancy event and didn't know what to
do. No, 100%.
That's
what I'm saying. I'd be walking around like this, looking crazy, but I wouldn't just put it in the flowers. But okay,
I would have.
Okay,
this is nice and watered now.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let me tell you something about this friendship fight. Don't hold a gun to my head. Don't do that.
Oh, absolutely not.
I don't care if you're drunk or high or anything. So the issue is I don't know that our friendship would have been able to recover after that.
I think that she knew, and I think that she knew the same way that everybody else knew that it was disrespectful and you should have never did that. But she knew she wasn't going to shoot her. She knew that the same way that she always says. She says when you get high, you act crazy, and you see the way that she retaliated.
Like Sugar Bear.
You see the way that she retaliated. Stoney was ready to put hands on her.
I mean, an open hand slap is very disrespectful as well. It was justified, but I'm just saying.
Stoney got that 40 ounce and was like, what else is fixing to happen?
She did, and then she slapped her. But I'm saying there is not a world in which you gonna sit up and put a gun to my head and then we gonna be friends after that. Or neither of us are gonna be here, and I just want you to know that. Let's move on. So did you notice that Luther had a Q brand?
Yes.
On his chest, and I was like, they didn't want to put makeup on that or anything. No,
I mean, I think it's hard to cover up brands like that when you have like.
I mean, you're right.
A lot of people that I've seen like in shows, it's hard for them to cover the brand up. Like if it's like
it just didn't go with the character
too,
because I don't think that he was supposed to be college educated, but cool. Like as a character, he has a master's. I looked him up. I was like, oh, he got to be well decorated, but no.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the way that they were trying so hard to nail Cleo when they had her in the witness lineup, they jacked the witness up. Like, literally, look at her! Like, why did you grab the witness like that?
Everybody was wrong. Everybody was wrong.
If I'm the victim and I'm coming here to ID somebody, how you gonna jack me up?
Everybody was wrong. That's all I can say. The lineup was wrong. Yeah, you jacked me up. The lineup was wrong because they couldn't see her being like you can't do that in the lineup. And then when she left, look at it. No, ma'am, you can't do this. This is bullying at this point. This is harassment.
It's coercion.
It's all of it. Just guys. Police be doing it though. Mm-hmm. Don't act like they don't.
My last thing to say, we said it earlier, Blair Underwood was fine in that movie.
And I'm going to just say something. It's 1996. Everybody hair looked appropriate to the situation. I'm not saying I liked all the hairstyles, but they didn't look like they were wigs. If they looked like they were wigs, they looked like they were supposed to be wigs. They didn't look like we're trying to make you think this is real hair and it's actually a wig.
Like in another movie that Kimberly Lee.
All the other movies that Tyler Perry has done. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I will say that Vivica acted her behind off.
Yeah.
Frankie was
Frankie.
It's well directed anyway, and I think it still kind of holds up. Like, it's still honestly relevant. Like, I feel like a lot has not changed.
Yeah.
Since then, and she acted her butt off. Like, literally times Vivica was talking, I was like,
I think that all of them did amazing.
Yeah, they really
in
did.
This movie. Like, it's probably one of my favorite Quentin movies.
Yeah. How you love a movie and you just can't watch it? Like, that's how I feel. Like,
That's
I
how
don't want to watch it again.
but it's still like, yeah, it's hard. Yeah. So, y'all, just curious as to what other things came up for y'all. Like, how do y'all feel about this movie? Are you able just to like sit down and like now rewatch it over and over again? I shout out to you if you can. Talk to us, drop some discussions. As always, like, follow, subscribe, and catch us on the next time.
Stay mentally dope. And then last thing I want to say is, day after
Stop
day.
it. Make it stop.
I push against the clouds. Bye.